controlled by China is something I wish academics could challenge more directly and more astutely, because we have allowed a myth to develop, and it's this notion that as Africans we're unable to think for ourselves, and there has to be some large power which is telling us what we should do. And I really think some of these ridiculous notions need us to challenge them. We are seeing increasingly countries of the South growing in economic stature and asserting themselves on the world stage. And I certainly believe there has been a shift in the balance of power. And it is this that's causing disruption. And anyone who wants to pretend that there isn't a shift, they're fooling themselves. It's happening as we live it. And with that, of course, new challenges emerge. Individuals who are powerful don't like to be challenged. It's awful to lose power. It's awful to imagine that you might not be number one. And I suspect that if we were number one, if someone threatened it, you'd want to do all that you can to retain that position. And so we should be aware that what we're seeing now is not the worst of what we might see. And we should prepare ourselves and ready ourselves in order to stand for ourselves as Africa, as the world becomes increasingly disrupted. The power shifts mean that the resources of Africa also face even increased threat. And that's why suddenly the conversation in world boardrooms is about rare earth minerals. Where do they come from? African continent. And the conversation is not about refining them in Africa. It's not about building new factories. It's about continuing to extract and value add elsewhere. We need to shift these conversations as the African continent. We have Agenda 2063, which aspires to the development of the African continent, to inclusive prosperity for us on the continent, to us industrializing, to us developing niche markets as the African continent, to us making far better use of the natural resources that we have on our continent. But we're still allowing conversations about our natural resources to occur outside our borders. Very few of us are talking about enhancing industrial capacity.